Okay, good morning, everybody, and for joining us on Meet the Contractor Introduction to the DPS. The DPS is the abbreviation for the Dynamic Purchasing System. It's a bit of a tongue twister, so we just abbreviate it to the DPS. So I guess the first question that you're all asking yourself is, how much is this going to cost me? I suppose the answer is it's not going to cost you anything really on your time here this morning and your time to sign up for the DPS. The next question you're asking is, what's in it for me or what's in it for my company? And the answer is it's the ability to tender the upgrade works for numerous different bodies, which I mention later in the slides. These slides and this whole presentation is being recorded, so the slides will be sent out to you all. Okay, so just to go through the agenda. First topic on the agenda is the introduction to the Southeast Energy Agency and where we see this whole energy thing going up to 2030. We're going to talk about the dynamic purchasing system and what is the DPS and how to get onto it. We're going to talk about the services required, the lots, and we're also going to talk about introduction to EU peers. We have three presenters today. First of all, I'm Michael Kinchela. I'm the non-domestic delivery engineer. We have John Frister, who is the technical engineer, and we have our senior engineer, Alex Hamilton, who's going to talk about. And at the end of all this, we'll have questions and answers. If you prefer to put your questions into the chat rather than talk, we'll be glad to answer them. So who are we? We are the Regional Energy Agency for the Southeast. We were previously known as Carlow-Kilkenny Energy Agency. And then Wexford joined and we became 3CEA. We are now called the Southeast Energy Agency because Waterford have joined the agency as well. We have 21 years experience delivering energy upgrade projects throughout the Southeast, and our job is delivering and coordinating contracts for the public sector, residential, commercial, agriculture, and for communities. So we are one of 13 SEI registered project coordinators. We handle grant applications, we look after all the paperwork, we upload all the Q&A documents and the financial documents to SEI. So basically we take the pain out of the whole grant process for you, the contractor, and the clients. Just to give you a bit of an overview of some of the funding that's available through the SEI grant schemes this year. We'll talk about these grant schemes individually, but we have 75 million available this year for the Community Energy Grant, otherwise known as the BEC grant. We have a new grant which just started there in November called BEAS. It's the Business Energy Upgrade Scheme. Now the name for this is a little bit misleading because this grant is open to local authorities, community centres and sporting organisations as well as SMEs. We have another grant called Pathfinder where there's 40 million available. The Pathfinder programme is basically for the HSE and for the local authority. Grant schemes called the SSRH. It's a support scheme for renewable heating. We have the non-domestic microgen scheme, which probably some of your solar guys are aware of. And we have other grant streams available, such as the Community Climate Action Fund, the Centre Investment Funds, which last week announced 26 million of grants to a lot of community centres throughout Ireland. We have the Community Centre Enhancement Fund, which will be announcing their grants in the next month or two. We're currently working on doing energy audits in 2,300 schools across Ireland. And we expect energy upgrade works to follow 2026. Just to give you some idea of the work that has to be done for schools, all schools are mandated to defossilise their heating. So in order to defossilise their heating, there's quite a bit of work to be done on. Last year, we delivered in the Southeast Energy Agency 4.5 million of capital expenditure on upgrade works in projects in 2024. We expect to grow this year as we grow our DPS, and as 2030 approaches, there will be, so hopefully we can deliver more projects. So as I mentioned already, the organizations that we can have delivery opportunities for to do upgrade works for, we currently work for the HSC. As I mentioned, the Department of Education with school, also for our local authorities, our core local authorities at Kenny, Carlow, Wexford, Waterford, and we do some work for Laois and Offaly County Council as well. Just to give you an overview, I suppose, of the different measures that are available under the non-domestic grant schemes. So it covers from wall insulation down to heat pumps and circulating pumps. It also covers biomethane, pitch lighting, perimeter lighting, walkway lighting. The BIOS then is a single measure grant. So you can just get a grant for wall and roof, and also for heat pumps and circulating pumps. Now the heat pumps under the BIA scheme are under 100,000 in capex, where if you're going for a larger heat pump, you'd apply through the SSRH scheme. And we have the microgen scheme, which just looks after solar PV grants. Just to talk again about the community energy grant. The community energy grant is a kind of a grant that encompasses communities, local authorities, businesses, sporting organisation, housing bodies, and private housing. The non-domestic projects are more specific, whereas we, on every grant application, we actually make 10 residential shovel-ready applications for homes. So with all the measures included. So if you have a home, we can put it for the home specifically for the grant. What are the barriers currently to delivery? Well, I suppose procurement is one of the main barriers, repetitive and the slow supply chain. New directives and rules over public procurement. I'm sure we're all aware of the issues with public procurement around maybe the bike shed and stuff like that. So there is new legislation coming in for public procurement. And the other barrier is skills. So SEI launched plenty of upgrade training programs, and I'd encourage you all to avail of these programs to keep your skills. What is the DPS? It's the procedure available for contracting works, services and goods, similar to it is run as a completely electronic process and should be set up using the restricted procedure. The DPS is set up for different requirements. We're going to be talking today specifically about Lot 2, which is works. At the end of April.
Hi, Michael.
Yes.
Sorry to cut across you there. I'm not sure if it's your connection, but you're cutting in and out, and there's a few other people saying it on the chat as well. I'm not sure, is there an internet connection issue or something?
I'll just try and.
I'm not sure if other people are having the problem as well. I certainly am, and I can see messages up in the chat as well.
Okay, we'll just
Mike,
try
you just turn
reconnect.
off your video, your camera. If you turn off your camera, it might help.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay. Is that any better? Can you hear me, folks?
And then we'll let you know.
Okay. So the DPS is basically, it's divided into two categories. One is for works and the other is for services. Our works are Lot 2, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. And we will have a further webinar the end of April for our services. I'm just going to pass you over to John Frister here, my colleague, and he's going to talk to you next about the whole workings of the DPS. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much, Michael. My name is John. I'm just going to talk to you a bit more about the DPS and how it works in a little bit more detail. get the next slide up. Sorry guys, a few technical issues here. Get it working.
Your internet.
No. Okay, so the solution to the barriers that Michael mentioned when it comes to procurement is our dynamic purchasing system. The benefits of this highlighted here below are a streamlined procurement process for both the suppliers and the authorities. There's no need to reprove your suitability or capability once you're approved, as this is done at sign-up stage. Faster tender awards compared to one-off procedures due to the fact that all the suitability and checks have already been done. Longer term opportunities, the previous 4-year limit that was in place on this has been removed, extending the lifespan of the DPS to 10 years. Now, it is worth noting that this DPS was originally launched in 2021, but that still gives us another good 6 years on it. Not only will you have access to projects tendered by the Southeast Energy Agency, but also projects through other contracting authorities, the local authorities, the HSE, Department of Education, SMEs and other community and domestic retrofit projects. It has been established for 10 years, and this DPS supports energy-related projects, including energy efficiency, renewable energy, and retrofitting works across 2 lots, which Michael mentioned already, but we'll look into those in a bit more detail in a few minutes. So how will it work on e-tenders? So the DPS is published on e-tenders and TED, the European-wide tender service. It's the responses will be evaluated on receipt and within 10 days, and your outcome letters will be sent out as soon as possible. No evidence is sought. Evaluation is based on self-declaration, but it is well worth noting that the contracting authority may ask any supplier at any stage during the process to submit all or part of the required certification and supporting documents to ensure proper conduct. The tender goes out then, and the invites will be sent out to all the qualified suppliers. You will receive instructions on what evidence and when that evidence will be collected, and the tender box will close after 10 days. As this is a mini competition within a framework, the standstill period is not mandatory. Any evidence that is requested you'll be given 7 days to supply that, and if that hasn't been supplied, the next ranked contractor will be contacted. So after all that, the first contracts will be possible within 48 days, subsequent contracts then within 18 days, and as per regulations, award notices will be issued to the official journal for the European Union once contracts are issued. So it's kind of broken down into 2 stages, your pre-qualification stage and the contract award stage. Submissions evaluated and successful candidates will enter the DPS once everything has been approved. Once you're on, then the contracts can be awarded. Now, if you fail the pre-qualification or sign up for whatever reason, you can correct what needs to be corrected and reapply. And the 2 main documents that are involved in the application are the applicant response document there and the European single procurement document. The Energy Agency will administer the DPS, and the contracts will be awarded by the agency or by our partners and clients. This is done via a mini tender with evaluation criteria for all candidates and all sublots. And just worth noting as well that a rotation procedure will be in place for contracts valued under 25,000, just to ensure that the work is spread out as best as possible among the contractors, and we don't end up with 1 or 2 crowds getting all the work. So Michael touched on this earlier on, the sectors that are available for project delivery. We have the public sector, the community sector, commercial SMEs, agriculture, and the residential domestic housing. And again, just to note that on the community energy grant applications, we do have 10 domestic applications ready to go on every application. So we always have capacity for domestic upgrade projects. So these are the lots that we discussed earlier on. The They're broken down into two categories, with lot 1 dealing more with the consultancy and planning and preparation aspect of the jobs, and lot 2 deals with the works. So you can see here on the list of lots under lot 1, you have planning permission services, health and safety advisement, design stage, all that kind of stuff. So we're focusing today a little bit more on lot 2, which deals with the works and the measures. And you can see here that that covers project management, retrofitting works, to building fabric, mechanical, electrical, plumbing systems, solar tech, lighting, miscellaneous equipment, and general works as well. So in your application, you will be asked to indicate which services and lots you can provide when the tenders are issued, and you will only be included, when the tenders are issued, you'll only be included on those that offer work in the lots that you've selected. Now, also worth pointing out at this stage that a lot of you attending today will likely also be able to offer services under lot 1. And as Michael mentioned earlier, we will be having another session likely towards the end of April, where we'll go into the services provided under lot 1 in a bit more detail. Now, if you would like to attend that, please feel free to contact us and let us know, and we'll make sure that you get an invitation to that one. Moving on then, qualifying criteria. So we've mentioned a couple of times that this DPS is a streamlined service. And this is achieved by all the pre-qualification checks being completed at the sign-up stage. So you would be asked to provide the following, among other documentation at the sign-up stage: your employer's liability, public liability, product liability, professional indemnity insurances, tax compliance information, and the key point really here is the relevant certification covering works and skills in the lots that you've applied for. Because that's really the factor of this that streamlines the whole process, because we have all the checks done and we have all the evidence for it. So please make sure that you have the relevant certification for the lots that you're applying for. So who can use the DPS? This DPS has received approval from the Office of Governmental Procurement, so it's available really for anyone to set themselves up as a contracting authority. The following entities are some examples who can use it: leader companies, members of the Irish Energy Association, energy agencies, public bodies, including other contracting authorities who are delivering energy works, as well as 4 local authorities, our core local authorities here: Carlow, Kilkenny, Wexford, and Waterford. Okay, so we've covered a fair shot of information there in the last number of slides, so we're just going to have a quick summary here. There are several streams of funding that are available over the next number of years, as Michael mentioned earlier on. And here at the Southeast Energy Agency, we're looking to grow in all those areas and sectors. The DPS provides a streamlined process for all parties and for us to reach contractors, and for the contractors, it can bring work to ye as well. There's no need to approve suitability, as we've discussed, and that leads to faster tender awards compared to one-off procedures. We have the longer lifespan with a good 6 years left on it. And not only will you have access to works through the Southeast Energy Agency, but also from the local authorities and other contracting authorities like the HSE and the Department of Education, those that we've talked about already. So thank you very much for your attention, guys. I'm now going to pass you over to Alex, our senior engineer, who's going to talk to you a bit more about the next steps and the introduction to the EU peers.
Thanks, John. You might just flick onto the next slide for me there, please. Yeah. So just to summarise there, what Michael and John have gone through is that, you know, and I'm sure that you've all got experience in tendering for large works, and we certainly have had plenty of experience and trying to get works done through grant programs or through different programs with a tight deadline. So, you know, the purpose of the dynamic purchase system, the DPS, is to get you as qualified contractors on our list, on our frameworks. You know, the main difference being, obviously, it's an open framework. If you don't get it on first time, it's not that there's a closing date and you've missed it for the next 4 or 5 years, which the traditional frameworks had. So, you know, get onto our framework, come and work with us. We have plenty of work coming down the line and all of our contracts will be procured and have been procured for the last couple of years through our DPS. So the next steps for you is to get onto our DPS. We do have a number of contracts, as Michael went through earlier, and apologies for I don't know what you did there, guys, but it got much better there whenever you switched something off. There was a few gaps. So if anybody wants any further information, Michael and John are available. Joanne is our office support manager. For any of those of you who are not on our DPS or want to join the DPS, there's a QR code there, and Joanne is our office lead, and she will support you through the process that John and Michael have just gone through. So the links there will be in the slides. So please do come and join us, because we've lots of work going on. Next slide there, please, John. Now, I know that Michael gave a brief context earlier on about the budgets that are available, the amount of work. We're all aware of the amount of work that needs to be delivered between now and 2030 in terms of our 2030 targets. I just want to concentrate briefly on the domestic side of the house for a few minutes. We're working on a project, and some of you will know this, called EU Peers, with our EU partners. So again, just from a context point of view, National Retrofit in 2019, which we're all aware of, set a target of 500,000 homes to retrofit to a BER rating of B2 or better by the end of 2030. Now, that was already an ambitious target. We're well behind. The last figures I saw just before Christmas shows that we actually, between now and 2030, because we've only got 5 years to go, we've got an average of 70 to 75,000 homes per year to retrofit up to B2 to meet these targets. So there's still a lot of work to be done. Next slide, please, John. So how are we going to do it? It's ambitious. We've got a lot to do, and we can't do it on our own. So collaboration is the key to us all working well together, to us all working successfully across our region, and delivering this, in particular, just in the homes, over 70,000 homes a year. But again, Michael and John went through the non-domestic side in terms of HSE, schools, local authorities, and communities, etc. as well. So let's all work together, and we can deliver better, we can deliver faster, and we can deliver more. Next slide, please, John. So one-stop shops, and I'm sure some of you are one-stop shops. Some of you have heard of the term one-stop shop. Some of you want to be a one-stop shop. Some of you have no idea what a one-stop shop is. So we have a map here. The EPBD, the European Performance Building Directive, is currently being retransposed into Irish law, so there will be changes. But in fairness, the SEI have set up the one-stop shop system here in Ireland for the last couple of years. The EPBD, as outlined by the European directive, we need, or the EPBD states that we need a one-stop shop for every 80,000 citizens. Okay, so that's across Europe. That's not just Ireland, but that will obviously come into law here in Ireland. At the moment, we've got one-stop shop per 250,000. So basically, we need more. The message here being we need more one-stop shops. Also, and just to be very clear, these are SEAI registered one-stop shops that we're looking at on these maps. There are, of course, other models, and the DPS that the guys have just gone through with you there is basically a one-stop shop for domestic and non-domestic. So there are different models of one-stop shops. Just to be clear, this map is showing the SEAI registered one-stop shops, which as you know, the domestic programs run through. So you have to, if you want a domestic upgrade, you need to run through one of the one-stop shops or the BEC or the Community Energy Grants program there that Michael spoke about. So we act as a one-stop shop. But the aim of the EU peers is really to encourage you as contractors, again, to collaborate and work together and become your own one-stop shops. And we're here to support you in developing yourselves as one-stop shops. For both domestic and non-domestic, but that's just giving you, and you can see even on the map here, we're in the southeast, Carlow, Kilkenny, Waterford, Wexford, and there's currently one SEAI registered one-stop shop service provider in the southeast. Now that's not to say, as I said, there are different models. That's the SEAI registered. We're obviously a one-stop shop operating across, and there are others as well. But again, the main aim here and through the DPS is to bring you all together as contractors and consultants and bring coordinate us as a group to act as one-stop shops together. Next slide, please, John. So again, in terms of EU peers and how are we going to do this? So we have created a community of practice. So it's basically a platform, a forum for us as contractors and consultants to talk and network and learn from each other. Again, the aim being that we have more regional and local contractors and assessors and consultants, etc., acting in a local space. Going back to that map there, you know, as I mentioned, the Southeast one SEI registered one-stop shop. Really, the aim of one-stop shop and fast and good quality and easy delivery for homeowners and for communities is to have regional and local contractors who we've got on the call today working together, so we can get together on this community of practice platform and you know, talk to each other, learn from each other. What are the gaps? What are the barriers? How are we going to deliver this very large scale and ambitious number of retrofits that needs to be done by 2030? So the EU peers community of practice is there to help bring us all together and collaborate. Next slide there, please, John. Who can become a member? So the one-stop shop community of practice, and who can become a member of the community of practice is open to everybody. So IHRS being integrated home renovation service, so including one-stop shop. So the new term coming from Europe for those of you who are unaware, I think well aware now of the term one-stop shop, but IHRS, or integrated home renovation service provider, is the new term coming from Europe. So all of us basically emerging initiatives, actors involved in the value chain. So everybody on the supply chain in terms of retrofitting, from consultant to designers to planners to financial institutes. So all relevant actors, home energy assessors, architects, etc. So basically everybody on this call can become a member of the community of practice and begin to network and learn from each other and help each other out. Next slide, please, John. So just to finish up, that is the please a call out. Please come and join the community. Please come and learn, share, and collaborate with each other and with ourselves to deliver, as I said, better and faster upgrades. The eupeers.eu/Ireland is the link. So if you if you go to that link, and on the left-hand side there is a become a member. Takes about 2 minutes. You click through two or three questions, and then the team will contact you. We have 4 meetings a year, so our next meeting is on the 24th of April, and at those meetings, that's where we have these community of practice gatherings, where we, again, as I said, we can talk, we can have a discussion as to the barriers, the challenges, how are we all getting on, you know, and again, aim of these is to learn from each other. And the other main benefit that we're seeing already, because we've already made a bit of progress, is, you know, when we all act together, we can lobby a bit harder than if we go all individually. So we've already made you know, good contacts and within SEI, within the department, within the home energy upgrade loan scheme in SPCI. So, you know, again, when we go as a large group, we've got a louder voice to help lobby against any of these barriers and challenges that we may be having. Thanks, John. Next slide. So that's just a quick update on EU peers. We'd love it if you as contractors, consultants, etc., part of the supply chain for retrofitting, you know, come and join us. As I said, join the DPS and join the community of practice, and that's how we can all learn from each other and work better together. That's the aim here. We can't do everything alone, so we all need to work together. So that's everything from me. Michael, I'll pass back to you.
Okay, folks.